Welcome to Singapore. In this video, I am going to give you a brief rundown on the sights and attractions in the city. With over 60 attractions to cover, we have broken our complete guide to Singapore video into two parts. This video is part 1 and covers over 30 attractions and tourist locations on the western side of the island city. The prices quoted in the video for entry to these attractions are in Singapore dollars. Singapore has a unique mixture of cultures and people. It sits at the southern point of the Malay Peninsula, just 140 kilometers, or 85 miles, north of the equator. Be sure to look for part 2 of our complete guide to Singapore, which covers another 30 attractions and tourist locations on the eastern side of Singapore. Because we have a lot to cover, let's jump right in and start with a look at the attractions in and around Chinatown. Chinatown provides a fascinating peek into Singapore's Chinese culture and history. It offers a mixture of heritage museums, shopping and a large variety of traditional and authentic food options. Club Street is known for its trendy wine bars. The attractions in Chinatown include Clarke Quay, the Singapore River Cruise, Thian Hock Keng and the Thian Hock Keng mural, Sri Mariamman Temple, the Buddha Tooth Relic Temple and Museum, Pinnacle at Duxton, and the Singapore Art Museum. Clarke Quay is upstream from the mouth of the Singapore River and Marina Bay. Nestled along the Singapore River, it is filled with an array of restaurants, bars, and shops, as well as plenty of quiet places to sit and watch the river. Clarke Quay is Singapore's hub of nightlife, late-night dining and great music. A favorite pastime is watching the ferries from the many eateries along the shore. The Singapore River Cruise is a popular 40-minute ride on a traditional bumboat. The cruise from Clarke Quay to Marina Bay and return offers a unique view of traditional and modern Singapore, as well as passing many of the city's main landmarks. The cruises run through the day and into the night when the city and the boats light up. It costs $25 for the round trip. At this point, can I ask you two things? If you have any extra information that will help others, please add a comment. And if you find this video helpful in any way, please give us a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. And we will give you the lowdown on other places that you might be interested in exploring. Thian Hock Keng, or the Palace of Heavenly Happiness, is a temple built for the worship of Mazu, a Chinese sea goddess. Built in 1839, it is the oldest and most important temple of the Hokkien people in Singapore. The temple was originally on the coast before land reclamation in the 1880s. It was gazetted as a national monument in 1973. The temple is free to enter, although donations are encouraged to help maintain and restore the temple. The back wall of the Thian Hock Keng temple contains the 40-meter-long mural that tells the story of early Hokkien immigrants to Singapore. The Sri Mariamman Temple was founded in 1827 and is Singapore's oldest Hindu temple. It is an agamic temple, built in the Dravidian style. Because of its architectural and historical significance, the temple has been gazetted a national monument. The Sri Mariamman Temple has no entry fee, although donations are requested from those taking photographs. The Buddha Tooth Relic Temple and Museum is a Buddhist temple and museum for Chinese Buddhism. The temple gets its name from a tooth of Buddha, which was recovered from his funeral pyre in India. The Buddha tooth relic is housed in a dome made of gold. Entry to the temple and museum is free. The Pinnacle at Duxton is a 50-story residential development in Singapore's city centre. The 7 connected towers are collectively the world's tallest public residential buildings. These buildings feature the 2 longest sky gardens ever built on skyscrapers, at 500 meters each. Access to the 50th floor sky garden costs $6, but there is a daily quota of 150 visitors, so it is best to book tickets early. Singapore Art Museum was Singapore's first art museum. It contains contemporary art with a unique Southeast Asian perspective. As well as the main gallery, the museum has multiple venues across Singapore. Entry to the museum is free. Fort Canning Hill, originally known as the Forbidden Hill, has been a local landmark in the city since Singapore's earliest recorded history. The Fort Canning area contains the Peranakan Museum, Fort Canning Park, the Battlebox Museum, Orchard Road, the Istana Palace, and the National Museum of Singapore. The Peranakan Museum is a museum and gallery that specializes in the country's Peranakan culture. It is the sister museum of the Asian Civilizations Museum. Peranakan refers to a diverse group of ethnic communities in Southeast Asia, whose culture is a blend of local and foreign influences, primarily Chinese, Malay, and Indonesian. It costs $15 to enter the museum. This museum is part of the 4 museums in Singapore, the other 3 being the Asian Civilizations Museum, the National Museum of Singapore, and the Singapore Art Museum, and a discounted combined ticket can be purchased for all these museums. Fort Canning Hill has been a local landmark in the city since Singapore's earliest recorded history. It has been the exclusive address of many of Singapore's rulers and colonial leaders dating back to the 14th century. Just a walk through Fort Canning Park and its gardens is amazing and very interesting. The Battlebox Museum is located in Singapore's only World War II bunker that is still operational. It served as the headquarters for the defending Allied forces during this war, and it tells the story of the British and the surrender to the Japanese. Entry to the Battlebox is free, but limited slots exist and tickets should be reserved in advance. Orchard Road is Singapore's premier shopping district. It is a 2.2 kilometers, or 1.3 mile, long street lined with iconic shopping malls, luxury fashion brands, and international restaurants. Istana is the Malay word for palace. The Istana is the official residence of the President of Singapore. The estate was originally a nutmeg plantation, before the British colonial government acquired it in 1867, and built a mansion, to be the official home of the British governor. On the first Sunday of the month, there is a changing of the guards parade, which is a popular public event. The estate and buildings are only open at certain times each year, and cost $20 entry. The National Museum of Singapore is a public museum dedicated to Singaporean art, culture and history. The museum dates back to 1849 and offers a deep dive into the nation's rich history, and shows Singapore's journey from a humble fishing village to a modern global hub. Entry to the museum costs $15. Further south is Marina Bay, the newest area in Singapore. Marina Bay is a freshwater bay that was created using reclaimed land in 1992. The Singapore River now flows into the bay instead of directly into the sea, as it did before the reclamation. This area is full of tourist attractions, including the Gardens by the Bay, the Flower Dome and Cloud Forest, Marina Bay Sands, the Art Science Museum, the Merlion, Esplanade Theatres on the Bay, the Helix Bridge, and the Singapore Flyer. The Gardens by the Bay is an urban park spanning 105 hectares. It is home to plants from 5 continents, and contains lakes and a variety of plants including a serene Japanese Zen garden, and 1,000-year-old olive trees. The impressive super trees come alive at night with free light, and sound shows at 7:45 and 8:45. While the gardens are free, entry costs vary by exhibit, and cost around $32. The Flower Dome, which covers over a hectare, broke the Guinness World Record as the world's largest glass greenhouse. The dome is renowned for its stunning flower displays, including the flower field, which is refreshed seasonally and thematically. The dome features seasonal displays, indoor waterfalls, and themed gardens with plants from around the world, such as the Baobab Garden and the Succulent Garden. Entry to the Flower Dome costs around $40. Marina Bay Sands includes 3 towers topped by the Sands Sky Park. This is a 340-meter, or 1,120-foot, long skyway, which includes a 150-meter, or 490-foot, infinity swimming pool. The skywalk overhangs the North Tower by 66 meters, or about 220 feet. As well as a bar and a restaurant, the observation deck offers views over Singapore. The buildings itself houses an hotel, convention center, shops, restaurants, and a casino. Regular entry to the Skyway costs $35 and up to $40 at peak times. The Art Science Museum is integrated into the Marina Bay Sands Resort. Its 21 galleries feature major exhibitions by top artists in the world that blend art, science, culture and technology. Entry to the museum is free, although selected exhibitions have a separate charge. The Merlion is the official mascot of Singapore and sits at what was once the mouth of the Singapore River. It is depicted as a mythical creature, with the head of a lion and the body of a fish. It measures 8.5 meters, or 28 feet, high, and weighs 70 tons. The Theatres on the Bay, or nicknamed as the Durian, is a performing arts centre located in the downtown core of Singapore near the mouth of the Singapore River. It consists of two rounded structures, one housing a concert hall with about 1,600 seats, and the other a theatre with a capacity of about 2,000 for the performing arts. The Helix Bridge was opened in 2010. Built using stainless steel, it was the first bridge in the world to use the double helix design, which requires less steel than conventional bridge designs. The Singapore Flyer is an observation wheel. It has 28 air-conditioned capsules, each able to accommodate 28 passengers, and incorporates a 3-story terminal building. It is 165 meters, or 540 feet, tall, making it one of the tallest wheels in the world. It costs $40 to ride on the Singapore Flyer. Sentosa Island sits off the southern coast of Singapore Island. Formerly a military base, the island was converted into a tourist destination and has abundant attractions geared towards serenity and just having a good time. It is Singapore's premier island resort getaway. It is connected to the city by road, cable car, pedestrian boardwalk and monorail. There is no fee to enter the island. Sentosa, and the area around it has more than 80 attractions and activities. I cannot cover all of them here. However, the main attractions which would interest every tourist include the monorail, Universal Studios, the Southern Islands, Sea Aquarium, Fort Siloso and Siloso Beach, the cable car, the Southern Ridges, and Haw Pa Villa. The Sentosa monorail joins the island to the city's MRT train system. The monorail has 3 stations on the island. The trains operate frequently, with short wait times between trains, and travel costs $4. Universal Studios Singapore features over 20 rides, shows, and attractions in 7 theme zones. It is one of the 5 Universal Studios theme parks around the world. Tickets to Universal Studios cost $85. The Southern Islands are located about 5.6 kilometers to the south of the main island and below the Singapore Straits. The islands include Kusu Island, which means tortoise, or Turtle Island in Hokkien. It features picturesque lagoons, clean beaches and varied animal life in addition to a wealth of heritage sites. Lazarus Island is uninhabited and is a haven for those seeking sun, sand, and serenity. It is connected by a causeway to St. John's Island, and St. John's Island is reachable by ferry. St. John's Island is the largest of the Marine Park Islands. It was originally used as a quarantine center, and is now a recreational area. The Sisters Islands Marine Park is a 400,000 square meter marine park. The park allows visitors to experience the marine life around the region through guided walks, the Marine Park Public Gallery, and dive trails. Swimmers and snorkelers can indulge themselves at reefs, which are filled with marine life. Entry to the park is free. A round-trip ferry ride to the Southern Islands costs around $18. The SEA Aquarium features over 100,000 marine animals representing 800 species of marine life in a variety of habitats. The Marine Life Park is a part of Resorts World Sentosa, which also houses the Adventure Cove Water Park. Admission to SEA Aquarium costs $33. Siloso Beach is Sentosa's most popular beach. It is known for its outdoor activities, including beach volleyball, football and ultimate frisbee. The fort at Siloso is Singapore's only well-preserved coastal artillery battery. It was one of 12 similar gun batteries, which made up Fortress Singapore at the start of World War II. The fort is now a military museum open to the public. It contains a treasure trove of memorabilia, including coastal guns, the remains of fortified military structures and tunnels, as well as an interactive video documentary, complete with wax figures of Japanese and British soldiers at the surrender chambers. To get to Fort Siloso, take the 181 meters long and 11 stories high Skywalk Trail, which provides a scenic treetop trek on the way to the fort. Visiting Fort Siloso and its skywalk is free of charge. The Singapore cable car provides an aerial link from Mount Faber on Singapore Island, across the Keppel Harbour, to Sentosa. It also travels around the island. A round trip costs $35. Although upgrades, including a see-through glass floor gondola, are available. The southern ridges comprise 10 kilometers, or 6 miles, of trails connecting 3 parks along the southern ridge of Singapore. The trails combine invigorating exercise with spectacular views across Singapore. The Haw Par Villa theme park contains over 1,000 statues and 150 giant dioramas depicting scenes from Chinese literature, folklore, legends, and history of the key Chinese religions: Taoism, Buddhism, and Confucianism. Built in 1937, entry to Haw Par Villa itself is free. However, the Helix Museum within the park charges $20 entry. Well, there we have just a taste of some of the main sights and attractions of the western side of Singapore. This area in Singapore has so much to offer, and I must have missed some places. I've only had time to give a glimpse of these attractions, and I am sure you will find more in-depth information on those attractions that appeal to you. There are some excellent links below to help with this. Part 2 of our complete guide to Singapore covers about 30 attractions on Singapore's eastern side. Hopefully you will enjoy your time here soaking up the rich culture.